Veto, it is a separate initiative. Actually, there are two initiatives. The one which is sort of more well known is the French initiative. We're against it. We think that this is not a workable proposition. This is not a workable scheme. You will recall that they suggest that under situations of sort of violations, mass atrocities as they call them, war crimes, etc., there should be voluntary commitment by permanent members of the Security Council not to use veto. And there are two main problems, maybe more, with that. But first of all, according to their initiative, it will be determined by like 50 members of the United Nations, or the Secretary General of the United Nations, or the High Commissioner for Human Rights, that in fact there are grave violations or war crimes happening. And of course this is a political world, so 50 members of the United Nations is not difficult to put together to deprive a member of the Security Council, essentially, of their right to veto. And incidentally, the number is not so important. One can say like 150 members, but that would mean that the General Assembly is infringing on the prerogatives of the Security Council, the permanent members of the Security Council. Now, another thing, which is extremely important to realize, the problem is not only the situation which you are dealing with, but what kind of a proposal you are making to deal with the situation. What is the content of the resolution which is going to be, put on the table, and for which a permanent member will not have the right to veto? What if the resolution says that we're going to go ahead and occupy the country, and bomb them to the Stone Age for what is happening there? What if mass atrocities are committed by terrorist groups, and the government is trying to fight those terrorist groups? So somebody says, well, listen, there is mass atrocities, and the government is not coping, so let's go ahead and occupy the country. You cannot say that every resolution which is proposed in a dire situation of humanitarian need is necessarily a good resolution which is going to resolve the problem, and which is not going to be used for some political purposes which have nothing to do with this. So we see it as somewhat of a populist proposal. If France wants to limit its own veto, they're welcome, but I can tell you that there are some members of the Security Council, permanent members, that not just Russia, who are, who understand how important it is as a tool which allows the Security Council to produce balanced decisions, and which allows the minority opinion to be reflected in the work of the Security Council.
Who are those?
I'm sorry?
Who are those members?
There are some. There are two more. There are two more at least. Please.
On Libya, sir, how confident is the Council that Bernardino Leon will be able to get the Libyans to form a government of national accord before his mandate is finished? I mean, we know his mandate is finished at the 30th of September. There are reports, confirmed reports, that he wants to leave to a ministerial position within his government. And time of the essence. If we have a change of captain on the 30th of September, that means more time for the terrorists to spread in Libya. So can you, give us an idea about your confidence of this government forming before the 30th of September? And are you going to put pressure on Bernardino Leon on the 30th of September to stay alone?
Well, I think he has been doing a great job. If he were to decide to sort of step down and do other things, I think it would be unfair for us to sort of put pressure, as you put it, on him. He is his own man, and he has been doing for a long time a very difficult job. We very much hope that before his departure he is going to be successful. Is it going to happen? Frankly, I would not bet on it. I would not bet on it, because it's really a very difficult situation. The country is kind of has fallen apart essentially, and the 30th of September is not the only deadline. On the 21st of October, sort of formally the prerogatives of the Tobruk House of Representatives are running out. So my concern is that people in Tripoli may be waiting for that to happen, only to strengthen their sort of political position, saying, well, now they're not, their term has ended. So So this is extremely dramatic, extremely dramatic. And speaking about the veto, incidentally, I'm sure some of you are looking at Libya hoping that in 2011 the veto was used during 1937 vote. So sometimes the absence of veto can produce disaster,